Hello everyone, my name is Timothy Lee Grant, and today we are going to try to create a minimal viable product for our project. So for the past maybe 2 weeks, I've been, just working on this project after I get off of work, and I've been playing around with a lot of the different concepts and trying to get not just learn the different concepts within backend software engineering, but also just demonstrate my understanding and just give something to be able to put on my resume to say, like, hey, I have these skills, I have these basic competencies in software engineering. So, creating different microservices, talking to a database, being able to um, communicate between the microservices, all of these different things. So I've been trying to build that functionality out. And one of the things that I'm trying to do as quickly as possible is get to the point where I do have a working minimal viable product. It won't be perfect. It's not going to be the amazing. It's not going to, there's still going to be a lot of improvements that we need to make. For example, I need to do unit testing. That's another big one that I saw on a lot of the job postings. They say um, back-end software engineering, an important skill for this role is uh, unit testing. Okay, well, unit testing, CI/CD pipeline, integration testing, right? Like that kind of stuff. Okay, great. That's something important, and I want to hopefully implement that in this project to be able to demonstrate those skills and capabilities, but I don't need to do it immediately. So I'm trying to get to the point where I do have a minimal viable product. Here it is. It works. We can see the entire pipeline. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm racing towards. And today, what I'm thinking about doing, so what we've already implemented is we have the consumer microservice, the producer microservice, and then the Eureka server to be able to connect them. Okay, great. Well, now what I'm thinking about doing is, and I don't know how far I'm going to be able to get today, but we're just, making progress every day. I'm just trying to let you know, like, okay, well, this is kind of the direction that I'm headed. Let's see how we get there. Let's not stress out too much. This is a project. We're having fun. We're enjoying this. We're learning a lot. At least I am. I'm moving forward, but I want to make sure that I do keep in mind, like, okay, well, where am I going so that I don't get lost? So that's kind of where I'm headed. What I want to do today is at least start on trying to see if I can get the front end of this project. So we wrote these two, the consumer resource and the producer resource, in Java. So we used Spring Boot to be able to create backend web server and communicate with the MongoDB database. Well, now what I want to do is front end, I'm thinking, well, JavaScript, right? And at the very beginning of this project, I kind of laid out the project requirements. I laid out the technologies that I wanted to use and demonstrate my understanding of, etc. So now, okay, great. Let's go and let's actually start working on the JavaScript part, which is going to be more of the front end. So we'll start working on that today. I don't know how far we're going to get, but what's better than, or sorry, what's better than no step at all? A small step, right? Like that's kind of my mentality right now is, maybe I don't make a large step today. Maybe I don't make a ton of progress. But if I even make a little bit of progress, that's better than doing nothing, right? So I want to get into a habit of just continuing to take steps, even if they're small ones. So we'll see what happens. Let's minimize myself here and let's go to. I was trying to fix the. I was having problems with my GitHub, but fixed it. Okay, so now what do I want to do? This is the Eureka server. I'm just going to open up a new Copilot and we will start. Okay, so have my project here, and let's kind of give it the context. I am creating a project that uses microservice architecture to be able to perform adding items to a database and taking items away. I already implemented the producer and consumer microservice in Java, which perform the logic of interacting with the database and subtracting and adding items. I also created a Eureka server to have all of the microservices be able to register and communicate. All right, so I now want to do what? I want to create a new microservice which uses NodeJS Express to be able to handle the front end and use EJS to render web pages to the user so they can interact with the other microservices, the backend microservices. Okay, so I can give it that context, and maybe I say, like, tell me the architecture. So a little while ago, we did a whole bunch of videos. So I've been studying back-end software engineering for about maybe, I actually don't even know how long it is. It feels really long, but then I went and looked, and I think I've actually been studying it for only like 4 months. Can you believe that? Like, it feels a lot longer, but no. Anyways, so I've been studying. I started with JavaScript, and I was doing NodeJS and Express and EJS, and I was just learning those concepts, right? And then once I started to feel, a little bit more comfortable in those concepts, I moved on to Java. And then once I started understanding Java a little bit, I moved on to this project here. So now I'm kind of this project is a really good way for me to actually go back and reinforce a lot of those concepts that I've learned in the past, but I just did it one time, and maybe it didn't solidify in my head, and now it's kind of a really nice opportunity for me to be like, okay, well, how did this actually work? How did we set this up, right? So, how do you suggest I set up this microservice, and what architecture do you suggest I use? Okay. There we go. I think that is enough context, and we'll start doing it. Okay, so Java producer, adds data, consumer, Eureka server, discovery, yep, database. Okay, cool. So setting up Node. So, okay, so this is the architecture for the project. So this is going to be a new microservice, okay? So let's come in here and let's create something. Let's just call it, what do we want to call it? Front end. Let's call it front end. I don't know. Here's the other thing. Is it going to be called, is it the front end or is it API gateway? Because we also need an API gateway, and the API gateway is going to be able to handle like user sessions, and it should eventually, again, not the minimal viable product yet, but eventually what I also want to incorporate is I want the user to have to enter their username and password. And that username and password is going to be stored in a separate database. We had the MongoDB, which is NoSQL. Now I want the user's username and passwords to be stored in SQL. So I'm going to use SQLite or Postgres or something like that, right? Some SQL based database. So is this an API gateway or is it the front end? I don't really know. I'm maybe I'd call it front end. Or API gateway. I don't know. Hold on. Let's ask it. Should I call this front end or API gateway? Okay, let's just do that, and then we'll go back up and look at what it's saying. Okay, so call it. Okay, so they want this to be front end service. If you later on add API gateway, so that's a question that I'm gonna ask. Like, hold on, why is this not an API gateway? Like what's the difference between this and an API gateway? So let's just come up here and let's kind of see how it's saying to do this. So let's create this front end service. Sure. Did I say file front end service? Okay. And now let's just this is the standard NodeJS template, right? Like MVC, model view controller, but they call it services and routes and views and public, right? Like all of that. So I remember doing this when I was first learning not EJS, but JavaScript. So let's kind of just copy this. So we have views, public, routes, okay? So inside of here, I have views, okay? And inside of this, I have public, okay? And inside of this, I have routes, okay? Services, okay? And then we need our app.js and package.json. Although, hold on a second. I remember doing npm init. And does that automatically create a lot of these files for me? Okay. So npm init, npm install express. Okay, so that was the next step. Okay. Do we want to do this, or do we want to try doing npm? What I think I want to do is, again, because we're also trying to learn as well. So I'm gonna take all of these. I'm just gonna delete them. Okay. Move to trash. Okay, so from front end service, what I want to do is, where am I? It's all squished. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to do this, the npm init. So npm node package manager init, and then yes to all of the like options. Okay, and what we want to figure out right now is we're going to run this, and then we're going to see like, okay, well, within the front end service, what files are created? That's a very interesting thing because again, I did it a while ago. Now I want to do it again, and I want to figure out like, okay, well, how is it working? What's going on? And just continue to play around with things. Okay. All right, so we did that, and it seems like it worked. Okay, and let's see what it added. So it added the package.json. Okay, that's it. That's all it added. Wow. Okay. So now let's do the npm install. So node package manager install express EJS, and then dot env. Okay. All right. Ooh, we got a lot more. We got some more stuff. So we got node modules and package lock. Okay. Well, guess what I'm noticing? All of these were not automatically added. There we go. So that's what I wanted to figure out. That's why I deleted them, is because I wanted to figure out what is automatically added. Because when I did the Spring Boot, I was able to get, you go to the Spring Initializer or Spring IO, and then do that, unzip the file, put that in the unzip file in there, and you're off. You know, you have the whole program is kind of there, and then from that base you can build it. So I couldn't quite remember, well, how did JavaScript do it? How did NodeJS do it? Well, there we go. Here it is. Okay, so let's add those. Okay, so let's go back to views. Okay. And then from here, I want to add public. Okay. And then I want to add routes. Okay. Then I want to add services. Okay. And now I want to add my actual files. Okay. Which is going to be app.js. Okay. And we already have our package.json. Okay. So we haven't added any of these, like consumer service, producer service, index, or any of these EJS files. We haven't added anything. We just did the structure right now. So we did this. We installed our necessary packages. Okay. So now, okay, here's where we get to the actual NodeJS Express. So let's not just copy and paste this. Let's go in line by line and actually write it, okay? So I'm going to go like this so we can see it, and we'll just do it line by line. Okay, so I'm going to get it down here so it's off my little screen right there. It's off. So const express equals, and I'm not sure if this is going to give me an error. It might, because I remember the way that things are brought in is different based off of the version of Node that you're using. So some require, some do import, and I can't remember which one was which way is the correct way. So we'll just try it this way. If it's wrong, we fix it, right? Like that's how we've been doing this project the entire time. It's just troubleshooting. So require, and what does it require? Express. Okay. Const path is equal to require path. Okay. So what is path? It's a good question, actually. I didn't create anything called path, did I? No, so what is path and where did I get that? Okay. Is it this one? What is path and where did I get it? Okay, I want to add that question. Okay, great. Const index router is equal to require, and then routes index. So now this is routes right there and then index. So we don't actually have that right now, but we'll get that. We'll fix it. Const app is equal to express. Okay, so what's this doing? We're importing express. Okay, and this is a file, or not a file, but a library that's written and creates the server, the listener, and the router for API requests. So now we're instantiating that object and we're capturing it in this app. So now we evoke methods within this object, this app object, which is an express class, right? And we can change settings. So that's what we're going to do here. So app.set and then view engine, okay, is EJS. So we want to use EJS files. Okay, app.set is, and now we're going to do views, and this is where our views are going to live, right? So we're taking our directory name, so where we currently are, so pwd, which is this top level, right? This top level, so we're in front-end service. This file, app.js, is within front-end service. So we take that and we append views, and that tells our method where our views are. Okay, so is path.join. Okay, and that's why we need path. Okay, so that kind of answers that. I'm actually going to just delete that. There we go, path.join. And what do we want to join? We want dunder directory name. Okay, and then the second one is views. That should be good. Now app.use and then express.url encoded. So I actually don't even know what this does. So we'll figure that out later. Extended, okay. True. What does this do? Okay, app.use. Oh, and setting our static files. I remember this. Static files are like the templates for the HTML, right? Or was that views? I can't remember. It's good that we're going back over this. Okay, so app.use express.static path.join dunder name and then public. Okay, 3 and then that. Okay, cool. So now I want to do app.use index router, okay? And I don't think we've implemented this yet, but we need to. So we're mapping this home page to index router, but we haven't done that yet. Like, we haven't created that that route yet. Const port is going to be equal to, so process dot environment dot port or 3000. Okay, so we get the process ID's environment variable port. So I'm actually kind of curious, like, we get the port, but how does the process dot env actually work? Does it communicate with my operating system? Okay, now we just start our server. Listen on the port that we are opening and do a callback function to console.log. Does it actually need to be these funny ones? Front end service is now running on, and then $sign port. Okay. So now we actually need to go in and create these files. Okay, so that's going to be here. So here's our index.js. Okay. So that should be where? Index router. So this, wait, where is index router though? This is index.js. All right, I'm probably not even going to start implementing that yet. I'm not going to implement the Eureka server tonight, no. But I kind of want to put that there, like, okay, well, how are we doing that? I want to know this, like, where is index router? Like, where do we, oh, index, there it is. Okay, and this is index.js. There we go. Perfect. Okay, so let's create our routes. So this is going to be in routes, and then inside of here we are going to create index.js. Okay, and once again, let's just do this line by line. Okay, and later on, as we always do with this project, first we try to get something that works, and then later on, okay, great, let's go in, let's dig in and try to figure out how is it working, why is it working, what's going on. Right now we're just trying to get, number one, something that works, and number two, just like refresh our memory. And yeah, so let's just go. Const express is equal to require express, okay, const router is equal to express.router. Okay, I need to figure out what this does. I think that this, so let me just think about it. Express, I'm importing express, and then I'm doing a constructor of an object within an object, right? Like a nested object called router. And router just sends back an object, which is, I actually don't know what it does. So what does router constructor actually do? Okay. So const producer service is equal to go up one level, go into services and producer service. So go services. Okay, there. That's what it's saying. Okay, so this one is, we're going to be going into our services here and then getting those files. And then what are we doing with those? I don't really know yet, but we'll figure that out. Okay, so here. Producer service is equal to require, and then go up a level and go into services and go into producer service. Okay. And let's just create that right now. Let's come into here and let's do producer service .js, right? We want it to be JS, okay? And then I'm going to come here and add another one and call it consumer service.js. Okay. So now I'm going to come back into my routes. I'm going to delete this part. I'm going to go producer service because I just wanted that to autocomplete, make sure that we don't have any typos. So const consumer service is equal to require, go up one level and then go into services and go into consumer service. Okay. Awesome. There we go. So now we want to actually create the routes. So router and then .get. So we're doing a get request on here. And now we need a callback function. So we have the request and response. It's coming back to me. It's coming back to me. And this is mapped to like this. Yep. So our anonymous function. So response.send, and then we render what? Index. Okay. And what was index? Index is our view, right? No, index is here. Wait, where is index? Index.ejs, yeah. So it's going to be, so this is like, Express is going to automatically search for our views. And we told Express where our views are in here. We just said Express is at this path in views. So it's going to go look in views and then find our index.ejs. So that's how that's going to happen. Okay, so now router dot post. So we're going to do a post and we're going to do an add. So we're going to add items to the inventory, and we're probably going to have to change this a lot, but we're just getting something kind of just like starting out. So it's going to be an asynchronous function, and we're going to have request response, and it is going to be like this, same thing. Const result is going to be equal to await. We can use that because of the async right there. Producer service, so we're going to call this function or this method that we haven't implemented yet. Okay, and then we're going to do dot add item, and then we're going to pass in the body. So request, the requesting post request, right? Dot body, and then dot item. Okay, like that, and then we're going to response dot render, and then result. Okay, we haven't done that one yet, but that's fine. Message is going to result. Okay, wait. Okay, fine. Router dot post. I'm actually just going to copy and paste this one since we already wrote it out by hand. So, but now we're going to do remove, and this is going to be consumer service. Okay. And that should be the same. That should, okay, that should work right there. Okay. And then, oh, we need to export it. Oof, don't forget that. Module.exports equals router. Okay. Which we created up here. And then just, so that we just kind of like added methods to this router, and then we're exporting it, and then we can capture it. Okay. So now we're going to do this producer service. And same thing for the consumer service. So inside of producer service, what are we going to do? We are going to come in here and const axios is equal to, I don't know what axios is, require. Okay, I don't know what this is. What is this? Okay, so exports dot add item is equal to async item. So we need to figure out like how is this actually working. Try const response await axios dot post. Okay, and then the actual HTTP location. So like that, and then what else does it want? Item, okay. Item, okay. So we don't know how it's working yet. We're gonna figure this out later, next video. And then return response dot data dot message. Okay, and then we do a catch statement, catch error, and then we probably just print the error, or no, we return error adding item. Okay, like this. Do we need to export anything? It doesn't say that we do. Okay. So there's that, and I'm just gonna go and copy and paste this over to the consumer. So let's do that, and then let's try to figure out what we need to change. So this is gonna be the same. Okay, I'm just gonna delete that though. Here, await, and then consumer service. So I actually think that this is probably going to be different. This is, I think, where I need to actually send. So I think what I'm doing right now, what Axios is, just based off the context, I think what's going on is this is where my front end microservice is actually sending the HTTP request. So it's sending a request to my other microservice, my, in this case, producer service, or actually it needs to be consumer service, and it's sending it to the, whatever, remove endpoint. So in theory, it's not correct yet, it's going to come in here, producer resource, I call it. Oh, no, sorry, it's not even that. It is, I need to go search for my controller, and I have here, okay, so I need to do, so I'll need to change this, but I need to map it to the consumer resource underscore resource, and then the home, and then add that body. Okay, so I need to connect them together, but that's later. Okay. Right now I'm just trying to get something here. So it's gonna do this, and I'm passing an item, and then I get that. Okay, fine, whatever. I also know that I need to do my index.ejs. Can you show me what I need to do for index.ejs and result.ejs? Also, I forgot npm run. Also, how do I actually start this project? Start this microservice and have it listen. And then I need to go and look at all of those things. Okay, I need to figure out how to align it with the Eureka server. So I need to create a client. It's a great way to register your Node.js front end with the Eureka and Disco. Okay, fine. So I need to do the install. I can do that actually right now. So in pm install eureka js dot, or not dot, but dash client. Okay, let's have it do that. Hopefully it's fine. I don't know. Did it do it successfully? Possibly. Okay, so now I need to configure this. So Eureka in my config. In here, I just grab that package and then start that. Okay. And then I need to discover things that, okay, I'll probably try to get the Eureka stuff tomorrow, maybe. I don't know. Oh boy. Index.ejs. Let's just where is it? Views. Like this. Let's just do this, and it's just like HTML, right? And then this one is result.ejs. Okay. That starting the microservice. I have all this. Node app. Let's see if it runs. I don't know if it'll run. Well, it says it's listening. Okay, let's see our routes. Let's go to like localhost and then 3000. So localhost port 3000 like this. Okay. Next.ejs. Well, okay. Let me go to my routes. Let me go to index.js. Come to here. It renders. I'm actually going to do console.log. You reached the index endpoint. A smiley face. Okay. Now I need to control out of that, and then I need to run this again. Okay, and then I need to refresh this. Okay, cool. So I am hitting that endpoint. Things are kind of working. I also know that I need to do, what was it, NodeMon. So I need to start NodeMon, but that'll be later. It's later. Okay. Awesome. So let's get status, get add, and I want to add front end service, right? Do I need to put the little like that? Okay, come on. This is Spring Boot. Okay, let me just do like this. Whoops. Okay, how do I add this file? Just tell me the command. Should be this, right? Like, do I actually need a CD up into there, or let's just see if that works. No. Is that? Okay, so I did need to just do it like that. Okay, so get status, make sure everything is okay. Add everything. This. Get, oh my goodness, -m, and then added front end microservice. How do you spell skeleton? Skeleton, maybe. Skeleton framework for NodeJS Express will need currently is able to run, but the run and respond to API requests, but the logic is not implemented, and the microservice is not connected to any of the other microservices. Okay. So git push origin main. Okay. Great. All right, so there we go. We got that. We made a lot of progress on it, and I am pretty happy with the result that we got today. Tomorrow we are going to be continuing in this project, and we are going to be, I don't really know what we're going to be doing. Either we're going to be investigating some of the questions that we had here, or we are going to be creating extra functionality, or we're going to be, who knows what we're going to do. Okay, I know that we also need to implement Swagger, but again, back with the idea of creating a minimal viable product, that's what we're going for, that's what we're trying. Maybe I don't do Swagger immediately, or maybe I do, I don't know. But anyways, thank you for watching this video. If you liked it, please subscribe. That would be amazing. I would love to have you on this journey along with me. That would be pretty cool. If you don't want to, that's fine too. And hopefully everyone has a wonderful rest of the day. My name is Timothy Lee Grant, and I will see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.